Hi there, I'm Rich and welcome. A lot of us struggle to find that ideal lumberyard or supplier for hardwoods and other things we need for building our woodworking projects. I don't have any such place here where I am. The small town I live in has a hardware store that has a little bit of lumber. For me, the place I go and where most of us go is Home Depot. And for me, Home Depot means 20 miles away. But in most places, especially if you live in a larger city, Home Depot is probably the closest and most convenient. They are by far the largest lumberyard and home improvement chain in the country. And that is convenient and generally means good prices. But like any big chain of stores, there's things that they do, and they do for our benefit and they do for their own benefit, that most of us don't know about. It's not that they're necessarily trying to keep these things a secret, but they're secret simply because they're not widely broadcast. I mean, if you're going to have a way of getting rid of excess inventory, would you broadcast that widely, or would you want people paying full price? So I've scoured the internet, and I've drawing on my own experience because I've been shopping at Home Depot for years, and I want to share with you a list of different things that I found, which are ways you can save a few bucks here and there, and sometimes more than a few bucks, to do your woodworking and any home improvement projects you might have at a better price. So are you ready? Let's take a look. Let's start with the obvious one, and that's their low price guarantee. Now, Home Depot has had a low price guarantee since they opened their doors many years ago. And basically what they say is that they'll match anybody's advertised price. Now, what most people don't know about that is that includes online pricing. So if you can find a better price online, including someplace like, say, Amazon, they'll match that price. Not only that, but if you would normally have to pay shipping on it, they'll match that as well. So they'll not only give it to you for the cheaper price, but they'll give you what you would have spent on the shipping. So you can get actually a better price than a price match by taking advantage of their low price guarantee. If you find something, print it out, take it into the service desk, talk to them about it, and if it's the same item that they're selling, you'll get it for the better price. Speaking of prices, now this isn't necessarily a way of getting better prices, it's about selection, but selection affects prices too. Because if you go in and the shelves are not quite full, maybe the one that's the better priced item or the one you wanted to get isn't there. Well, the best time actually to shop at Home Depot is the weekends. I realize that that's the time also they're the most crowded, because that's when all the do-it-yourselfers and the wannabe do-it-yourselfers are there buying the things that they need. The professionals go in during the week. Okay, but the store stocks Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the best time to go in is Saturday and Sunday. How do you beat the crowds? Simple. Go in early while everyone else is still having their first cup of coffee. Drink your first cup while you're driving there, and you can have your second cup on your way back home or when you get back home. By doing that, you'll have the best selection of whatever inventory they have available, which means also that you'll be able to select the items that are going to give you the best prices. Next thing I want to mention to you is that they have a subscription service. Now, there are items, and this obviously doesn't apply to everything, but there are items that we use regularly, like, say, air conditioning filters, cleaning supplies, light bulbs. Now, these are things you might replace on a regular basis, and we're supposed to replace our air conditioning filters every month, assuming we do that. I'm not real good at that. But if we do, that means we need to buy a filter every month. Or we can just get Home Depot to send us a filter every month. Now, not only will that save us the trouble of having to go get the filter, but we'll get a better price. They give typically a 5% discount on anything that they send as part of their subscription service. Now, not everything is available through their subscription service, but those things that are, such as the items I mentioned, cleaning supplies, light bulbs, air filters, other things that are maintenance type items that you can count on getting regularly, you'll not only get a discount, but they'll send it to you for free. That's a pretty good deal. Another way you can save with Home Depot is indirectly, and there's a lot of what they call cashback sites online. And there's a number of these, and I'm not going to mention any of my name because everybody's got their favorites, and I can't mention them all. I don't even know them all. But these are websites that sign a contract with different retailers where that if you buy whatever item from them, they'll make sure you get a couple percent cash back. I have a couple of them that I'm signed up with, and I get about a couple $100s a year back. And a big chunk of that is from Home Depot because I buy a lot at Home Depot. Now, means that you're talking about items that you're buying online, not that you're buying in the store. But you can order it online and pick it up in the store. And I like to do that. I don't do it for lumber because I want to select my lumber, but I do it a lot for hardware items, miscellaneous things that I might need for gardening, different areas like that where we're selecting it online, just letting them pull the inventory for me makes a lot of sense. When we were going through COVID, a lot of us learned the big benefit of shopping online and picking up in the store. I hardly ever go in a grocery store anymore, and for that matter, a lot of other stores. I just go do my pickups. I've got a regular scheduled pickup day, and I go do my pickups. And one of the places I pick up at is Home Depot. Well, those things that I'm picking up, I can get a small percentage back. And one of the neat things about this is not only do you get that small percentage, but every once in a while they'll have a particular item or items that you can get a larger percentage where they've got a special deal going. Instead of just getting, say, 3% back on that item, you might get $50 back. I've had this happen a number of times, especially on things I was using for some sort of a remodeling project around my home. Okay, appliances. Now, appliances are a great place to save money. I realize Home Depot doesn't sound like an appliance store, but they're one of the biggest appliance retailers out there with a pretty wide selection of brands and models to choose from. Now, there's a couple different ways we can save on appliances. First of all, go in and buy the floor model. Now, if you go in and you find a refrigerator or a stove or whatever it might be, they're going to try and order you one and have it delivered to you. Okay, that's fine. But if you buy the floor model, you'll get a discount, especially if that floor model is imperfect in any way. Sometimes they'll get some little dings and little dents around on the sides or something, places where it doesn't matter, places where it isn't visible. And you and I know if we've got kids in the home, it's going to get some dings on it anyway. So they'll give you a discount on that. They'll give you a discount just because it's a floor model. But on top of that, they'll give you a discount for any sorts of dings that are on it. You can probably get a really good price on your appliances if you buy them from Home Depot. Now, you'll need to be careful, look through what they've got. Not everything's going to be on sale, but they have some pretty good sales on appliances. My last refrigerator came from there, and I saved a considerable amount of money by buying it from Home Depot. Okay, next thing I'd like to mention is what they've got as their daily online discounts. They call it the special buy of the day. Now, this is something you have to look online for. But every day, they've got something that they've got a great deal on. And when by great deal, I'm talking about things that are 25 to as much as 50% off. Normally, these are things that are great for home improvement projects, remodeling projects. Lighting is a big area they do this in. You can find items that they just managed to get a good deal or something, or it's all to generate more revenue, generate more customers, generate more visits. So every time you go to Home Depot, before you go, check out their online discounts. Check for that deal of the day. See what you can find. It might just be something that you're looking for. And speaking of sales, another way that sales can really help you is at the season's end. Now, most stores, this isn't an old trick. This isn't anything that Home Depot invented. It's actually nothing new. I remember this when I was a kid. Clothing stores are famous for them. At the end of the season, okay, they change all the inventory. Now we don't need swim seats anymore. We need winter coats. And so they sell everything off super cheap. Well, guess what? It happens at Home Depot as well. If you want a barbecue grill, the best time to buy a barbecue grill is, about October or so. Wait till the summer barbecue season is over, buy your grill. Christmas decorations, wait till after Christmas. Now, everybody does that one, right? But there's a lot of other things that are very seasonal, and they have seasonal sales, and you can get a great deal because you're getting it at the end of the season. Then there's a few things that they have regular, it's kind of like an annual sale for, like paint. If you need to paint your house, the best time to buy paint from Home Depot is right about Memorial Day. Why? Because a lot of people paint their house in the summer, so they'll have a good sale on paint right about Memorial Day. And if you're buying a lot of paint, I'll tell you, paint has gotten expensive. You can save yourself a bundle buying your paint on that sale. Speaking of sales, one of the areas you'll find the most sales in, out of the entire inventory that they have in Home Depot, is in lighting. Lighting is a big thing for Home Depot. They sell a lot of lighting products. And their lighting products are always changing. The inventory changes. There's new styles that come out. Now, some stuff that stays around forever, but there's new styles that come out. There's styles that they're no longer selling well, so they'll sell them out. You can find a lot of good deals on lighting at Home Depot. I would never go to a lighting store to buy lighting unless I was looking for a $10,000 chandelier. I'd go to Home Depot because I know I'm getting a much better price. You can find a lot of promotions on lighting there at Home Depot, often that are just kind of all of a sudden, they're unadvertised. It's a store special. And so always, if you're needing lighting for your home, or you're going to need lighting for your home for some upcoming projects, always when you're in there, go by the lighting section, take a look at what they've got. See if there's something that's really something that you've been looking for. For that matter, if you know that's coming up, decide what kind of style you want, pick out some items, and kind of keep that in your phone. That way when you're in there, you know what it is you want to look at, okay? Next thing I'd like to mention is rebates. Now, everybody does rebates, and rebates are really the manufacturer. But Home Depot does some of their own rebates as well. And they've got a great rebate center on their website. And there's a couple things that does for you. Number one, it puts everything in the same place. You don't have to go hunting around for the paperwork. And since that's connected to their website, they already know about the purchases you've made. Okay? So it not only provides you all the information, but most of those rebates can be processed right on that website. You don't have to fill out paperwork and send it in. Now, that depends on the manufacturer. In some cases, you may still have to do that. But in most cases, you can get right on that section of their website, the rebate center. You can do everything that's necessary to get that rebate right there. But the other thing you can use that rebate center for is looking for things that might have a rebate. All right, you need lighting, or maybe you need a new hot water heater, or you need a stove, or whatever it might be. Before going to the store to see what they've got in inventory, get on the rebate center, see what they're offering rebates on, because it's well organized, and you can go on there and look and see, oh look, they've got this stove. Let's go take a look at that stove, because even though it's not technically on sale, there's a $100 rebate on it, or there's a $75 rebate on it, and it's like it's being on sale. We can save money. Damaged goods. Now, any store has damaged goods. I mentioned for appliances a moment ago, sometimes there's dings. Most store employees have the ability to give you a $50 discount on merchandise that is damaged packaging, it's return goods, it's a demo model. So this doesn't just apply to appliances, but it can apply to a lot of other things too. If it's damaged, they want to move the product. They want to get it off their shelves and out the door. And for them, it's cheaper to give you a discount than it is to try and sell it as damaged goods. Okay, great. So if you're in the store and you happen to see something like that, maybe you're buying electrical wire and it looks like somebody's already opened the package, and you say, oh, wait a minute, this is a damaged goods. Can you give me a discount on it? Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but I just bought $400 of electrical wire for my workshop a month ago because I was adding a couple more circuits in here and putting in a mini split air conditioner. $400 just for wire, just for copper. One of those spools of wire or packages of wire was $106. I would have loved to get $20 off of that. And they can offer you that if it's any way damaged, but you're going to have to ask. They're not going to offer that discount to you. That's one you're going to have to ask for. So you grab whatever employees in that department and say, hey, I want one of these. It looks like the box is damaged. Will you give me a discount on it? Good chance that they will. Save yourself a little bit of money there. Kind of hand in hand on that, the stores will always have a Overstock section. Now, it's probably going to be hard to find. It's going to be hidden off in a corner somewhere, back in the back. Okay, but they have one because sometimes they get overstock and they've got to get rid of stuff, or they get stuff that is for one reason or another it's in the process of being discontinued, and they may decide to stock it there in the Overstock section to try and help move it. And you can find things there that are as much as 50% off. So find out where the Overstock section is in your local Home Depot, and just make a regular habit when you're in there of swinging by there and looking to see what they have. Speaking of odd items that will end up being a discount is paint. Now, a lot of us can be very picky about paint colors, especially the ladies. I understand that. But, you know, every once in a while, it doesn't matter. You need paint for something, and the color isn't as critical. Let's say you're getting paint for your shop furniture, or for that matter, the walls of your workshop. Do you really care what shade of off-white you're going to use? you know. Or there may be something else. There may be something else in your house that you're doing, and you're really not sure what color you want to do it. Maybe you're doing some furniture for your kids' room, and you just want a bright color of some sort. Okay. Well, when you go to the paint department, look for their oops pile. Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it the oops pile. Oops pile is paint that was mixed that didn't come out in a way that the customer was satisfied. Now, this is actually something you find at any paint store, okay? But you have it in Home Depot as well. And paint that's in the oops pile is paint that they really can't sell. I mean, they take a risk every time they mix a can of paint for any customer, because you don't pay for that paint before they mix it. So you hand them a chip, they mix their paint, you know, they take a little dab and put it on the lid so you can see what it looks like. They hand you your paint and you go, you know something? I don't like that color. That's not what I thought it was going to be. They're stuck with it. What do? They mark it at a discount, they sell it off to whoever's willing to buy it. So that's the oops paint, and you can get a great deal on oops paint. Kind of similar to that, there's always in every Home Depot store, somewhere in the back of the lumber section, there's an area for cast-off lumber. Now, what's cast-off lumber? Well, we all joke about, you know, the warped wood that you get from Home Depot. Yeah. You know why you get warped wood from Home Depot? And it's the same thing actually pretty much anywhere you go. It's because the wood that's shipped to them is probably not fully dried before it's shipped to them. Then it gets to them, and all of a sudden it's been in a shed, a drying shed at some sawmill somewhere. Then it was in the open on a truck and maybe got rained on, and then it's brought inside their store. So however well that wood was dried and cared for, it gets in the store and some of it's going to warp. And then you and I and everyone else that goes in there to buy wood is going to be selective about what we buy. We're going to go through that stack of wood and we're going to pick out the best boards we can, whether we're buying 2x4s or we're buying some oak, you know, for a cabinet. Whatever it is, we're going to make sure we buy the best ones we can. If it's got too much wane on it, if it's got a warp in it, if it's got twist in it, if it's cupping, whatever, we're probably going to pass it over. And eventually what's going to happen is the wood that's in that bunk, wherever they've got stored, is going to look like a bunch of garbage. All right, that's cast off. They will take that lumber and they'll put it back in the cast off lumber and offer as much as a 70% discount on it. Also, you'll find in there leftovers from wood that has been cut for a customer. Maybe somebody was cutting trim, because you can buy trim by the foot. You don't have to buy a 20-foot long stick of trim. You can buy 14 feet, and then they've got 8 feet. And they can sell that, but if it's less than 8 feet, they probably can't sell it. It ends up back there in the cast-off lumber. The other thing ends up there is damaged wood. Okay, so they get a pallet full of plywood, and that first piece on the top is damaged. Nobody's going to buy it. It goes back in the cast-off. So you find all kinds of things back there. Well, yeah, but it's no good, right? Well, it's yes and no. I mean, you buy a warped board and you bring it home. If you need a bunch of small pieces, you can probably cut into small pieces and it'll work perfectly fine. You know, I've taken some badly warped and twisted lumber and I've used it for projects because I was using it in small pieces where it really didn't matter. Or I was using it in applications where it really didn't matter. It really depends on what you're doing. If I'm trying to make fine furniture, obviously I don't want warped wood. I don't want damaged wood. But if I'm making whatever, you know, a rack for something here in my workshop, I really don't care, just as long as I can get the thing put together and it's going to stand there and do what it's supposed to do. So cast-off lumber is a great way of getting lumber for things where appearance is not as critical. Now here's one of the best secrets there is, and that's the Home Depot price tag system. This is something you've got to know, okay? If you don't listen to anything else I've said, listen to this. Price tags. You know, they've got their fancy computer price tag and it's got all sorts of information on it. And then when something goes on sale, the price tag is usually a yellow price tag, right? All right, look at the price. If the price ends in a 6, you know, it's $14.96 instead of $14.99, okay? That 6 means that item is being discontinued and it's got 6 weeks to go. That's what that tells you. They've marked it down. That's why it's got the clearance tag on it, the yellow tag. It may not say clearance. It may just, you know, be a sale tag. And in 6 weeks, after that 6 weeks is up, from whenever they put that tag on, they drop it again. And then the last number, instead of a 6, it's going to be a 3. Now, 3 means it's got 3 weeks to go. At the end of 3 weeks, it's considered discontinued and it's taken off the books. It has zero value. Then what happens is in the computers, they change the price to a penny. Yep, a penny. And if you happen to be fortunate enough to find anything that's like that, you can buy it for a penny, no matter what the original price was. I bought some hardware items that way. I bought a bunch of aluminum extrusion that was being discontinued that way. I went in, I needed one piece, and it's a penny. Oh, just a second, let me go back and get the rest of it. Literally, and I didn't. I cleared out all the stuff that was a penny. I've seen people that have gotten toilets that way, that have gotten sinks that way, they've gotten faucets that way, I've gotten lighting that way, I've gotten door locks that way, a variety of different types of products, because it's just, they're not selling. Why do they discontinue it? Probably because they don't sell enough of them. Okay, that's the general reason the store stops carrying something. Now there's a group on Facebook, and I'm a member of this group, and it's a Home Depot penny group. And what it is, it's where people post things that they found at Home Depot for a penny. And the idea there is that if somebody else, say in Timbuktu, buys it for a penny, they'll post it there, and then the other people on that group can find it. If it's something they want, they can go check their local Home Depot and see if it's discontinued there as well. It may or may not be. They may not have any. And just because something's discontinued in one store does not necessarily mean it's discontinued in all stores. There are some things that are just being discontinued at a store because maybe it doesn't sell in that area. You know, I live in the southern part of Texas, and you don't sell too many snow shovels or snow scrapers down here, okay? I am guarantee you if they shipped in snow shovels to one of the stores, or even the fancy snow blowers into one of the stores down here, they would eventually end up being a penny because nobody would buy it. All right? That happens. That doesn't mean they're discontinued up north. Up north, they need those things. So get to know their price tag system, and as you're looking in the store and you're looking at items, know what that price tag is telling you about what's happening to that product. And maybe it's time to buy it, even though if you don't need it right now, because you know you've got a need coming up. Speaking of prices, anything you buy on sale at Home Depot, keep track of it. Keep your receipt and check online for the next 2 weeks. Now Home Depot has a 2-week price guarantee, which means that if the price goes down anytime 2 weeks after you buy it, they will automatically refund you the money. You just got to ask them for it. So maybe you bought, I don't know, a tool. Maybe you bought some lumber for something, or maybe you bought a new bathtub. I don't know. If it goes down, you can go back in the store. Hey, I bought this item 2 weeks ago. Your price has dropped. I'd like a refund of the difference. And they'll give it to you, no problem, no questions. Okay, here's another one for you. Free coupons. Customers who sign up for their emails. Now, you know, everybody is doing this now. They want to send you text messages. They want to send you emails. Home Depot does as well, and they've got a couple different versions. They've got their regular one. They have one for their garden club. But those people who are signed up that get those things get twice a year, they get free discount or free coupons. And those coupons are basically a 10% coupon. You buy $50, you get $5 off. You buy $100, you get $10 off. If you're regularly shopping at Home Depot, hey, that's great anyway. Not only are you going to find out about sales, but you're going to get a couple sales of your own. 10% may not be a huge discount, but it's better than nothing. Workshops. One of the great things that Home Depot has done as a company is that they've tried to hire people to work the sales floor who are knowledgeable in their areas. Now, I know some people that went to work for Home Depot who were tradespeople that either couldn't continue working in their trade because of some sort of an injury or age. They've just gotten old enough that they don't have the energy to be a carpenter all day long. I knew a guy that owned a small hardware store that gave it up just because Home Depot had taken the business basically, and he went to work for there, and he worked in the hardware department at the local Home Depot because they paid him as well as he was running his own business. The people that work in Home Depot are knowledgeable in those areas, and they're a great asset when you go in, you're working on a project, and you want to know how to do something, they can help you. Well, one of the ways they do that, instead of just you asking them personally, is that they offer workshops on a regular basis. And they'll be scheduled, and they'll usually be posted in each department. And they'll have 90-minute workshops talking about anything from electrical wiring to how to do the plumbing for a sink, painting a home, All sorts of things, anything you can think of. And the nice thing is you're learning it from somebody that's done it, which means not only are they going to tell you what the book says, but they're going to tell you a lot of the tricks and tips that a professional will know that the book might not say. So you actually get a good education on how to do it, although very quickly. And that'll probably help you keep from wasting money buying things that you really don't need. Speaking of workshops, they also have monthly kids workshops. These are usually on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and you want to be there early. And the reason you want to be there early is because they fill up and it's on space limited basis. These workshops are free, and the kids get to make various little projects like birdhouses and little race cars and whatever out of wood. They don't even charge them for the kits. So the kids get to make something. This is a way of getting your kids involved, getting them started in woodworking. Good activity for them, learning some good, useful skills, and it'll be fun for them as well. Free shipping. If it's on the website. Now there are items on the website that are not in the store. Just about everybody's doing that nowadays. Now you look at Walmart's website and you can find stuff on Walmart's website that you'll never see in the store. Same with Home Depot. Okay? If it's on the website and it's not in the store, they will ship it free to the store for you. That saves you having to pay for shipping. So if you're going to be by the store anyway, or if you live close to the store, or you drive past where it is, you know, whatever left-handed widget you need, or hardware, or tool, or whatever it might be, have them ship it to the store. You pick it up at the customer service desk, no charge for the shipping. You know, depending on what the shipping would cost for you, that can save you some real money. Free lumber cutting. And this is pretty widely known, but some people still don't know it, so I want to mention it. And as they've got a panel saw, and I believe it's a radial arm saw in the back of every single lumber department, where they can cut for you. If you buy a sheet of plywood, they'll cut it down. Now, I don't own a pickup truck. I own an SUV, and I can't fit a full sheet of plywood in the back of my SUV. But I rarely use that big a piece of plywood. I'll usually cut it into smaller pieces. So what I'll do is I'll buy a sheet of plywood, and I'll take it back to the panel saw, and I'll ask them to cut it down to 2 30-inch pieces, and that'll leave me at 24. Now I've got usable pieces for whatever I need, and it's also easier to store here in my workshop. Usually I'll buy a couple different sheets, like I'll buy maybe a 1/2-inch sheet at that time and a 3/4, both at the same time, or something like that. Saves me time, saves me money. Once, way back when, I had a motorhome, and when I got the motorhome, it was a 33-foot Winnebago. It had twin beds in the back bedroom. Now the big motorhomes have a bedroom in the back, okay, if you've never been inside one. And I wanted a queen bed back there for my wife and I. So what I did is that I loaded up my tools, and I had a generator, so I had electrical power. I went to my local Home Depot and parked in the parking lot, not up close, parked a ways away. Went into the lumber department, bought my plywood, took it to the panel saw, had them cut it the way I needed it, went out to the motorhome, loaded up, did the first phase of my construction. Then I went back in, bought some more plywood, had them cut that for me, and they go, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm remodeling the bedroom on my motorhome out in the parking lot." I probably had 20 or 30 employees come out at one time or another during the day to see what I was doing in their parking lot, but I was just taking advantage of the free service they offered. Now they do limit you to how many cuts they will do. As I understand it, and I understand two different things, okay? One is that it's up to 2 cuts per piece of wood. The other is up to 10 cuts on a visit. So, and that's what I know from my local one. You might want to check on that before you try and remodel a bedroom in your motorhome, okay? But that way I saved myself the trouble. I had electrical power from my power tools. I had the big stuff cut for me, and it was easy to do that project. And in a day, I did that remodel job in their parking lot. So that's a useful service in a number of different ways, okay? Cutting full sheets of plywood can be difficult, even if you have a table saw. You know, yeah, I suppose if you have a large track saw, you could handle it yourself. If you don't, this is a way around that problem. And generally speaking, the guys who operate those saws will cut it for you as accurately as they can. Speaking of tools, now, Home Depot is a great place to buy tools. They've got a great selection, a couple different brands that you can compare and choose from. But one of the things that most people don't realize is that from time to time, they will sell off their power tools that are used as demo tools. And you want to watch for those because they don't last. they usually are sold off at a 50% discount. These are good tools. These are brand new tools. Maybe they were used to demonstrate. Maybe a few people ran a screws in with the drill or something like that. They may be a little scratched up, but they're good new tools. And you can get them as cheap as 50%. But you got to get there at the right time, because otherwise they'll be gone. Plants. One of the greatest secrets of Home Depot that most people don't know is that you cannot fail as a gardener with Home Depot. You know why? Because if you buy any perennials, those are plants that come back every year, if you're not familiar with that term, trees or shrubs from them, and they die within a year of you buying them, they will just pull them up out of the ground, take them back, they'll give you your money back. Now keep your receipt, okay? So you can prove that you got it from them. They will give you your money back. That's like a you can't lose deal, right? You know, you try gardening, you mess up, they take care of it for you. Nice thing about that is, of course, then you can buy it and try it again. You know, I have a reputation of having a brown thumb. You know what that is? That's the opposite of a green thumb. If it's supposed to be green, I can turn it brown. And I have done that. I've bought trees that I've had to take back. I've bought berry bushes I've had to take back. I've bought other plants, just decorative plants I've had to take back. Now they won't do it with annuals, because of course annuals won't last. They won't do it like with strawberries, because strawberries are not considered a perennial. So there are some limits to that. But if it's anything that's designed for to be a multi-year plant and it doesn't survive, okay? We had some stuff die off because of a freeze here. They replaced it for them. They also will do that with vegetable plants. All right, if you buy Miracle Grow like potting soil or planting soil, and you buy I forget the brand, but there's a specific brand of potted vegetable plants that they sell. If you buy them and you don't get any produce out of it, they'll refund your money. Again, keep your receipt. Be ready. A couple other great deals in their garden department that you should keep your eyes open for is they have a spring Black Friday sale, and when they have that, they sell mulch for $2 a bag. Now, mulch isn't a real expensive item, but the problem with mulch is you usually have to buy a lot of it. I generally buy about 20 to 30 bags of mulch a year. Okay, so if I'm saving, say, $2 a bag, which is about what I save on it, that's what, $60 I'm saving, $60, $80 I'm saving? Worth doing. That's, I'm sorry, $40 to $60, not $60 to $80, $40 to $60 a year I'm saving just by buying it that one weekend. And I usually have to make 2 trips because it won't all fit in my SUV. So I make 2 trips, 2 different times when I'm going by there anyway, buy my mulch, and I can get a great deal. And they'll have some other great sales like that. There are brick pavers that I buy from them. Once a year they've got them for 50 cents. And this last year I think I bought like 300 of them or something like that, you know. And I'm using it to pave some pathways in my backyard. I've got a big backyard. One other great thing in their garden department is what they call Cull Bags. Anything that's a bagged item, and some of these actually won't be in the garden department, they'll be over with the cement products. Now, I'm talking about soil, fertilizer, stone, sand, gravel, anything like that, bag materials. If the bags are torn or cut, they'll sell it to you at 50% discount. Now, please don't go in there and tear a bunch of bags just so you can get the discount. But nothing wrong with going through and sorting through the bags, looking for the ones that are already torn. And there's a lot of them that get torn just from the process of people trying to pick them up and load them on the car. Oh, that one tore, let's put it back and get another one. Okay, you be the guy that goes through and sorts out all those. Take them up to the cashier and say, hey, all these were back there. They'll give them to you, no questions asked, 50% off. Save yourself some real money with that one. So it's, you know, if you're gonna build like a raised garden, raised bed garden, you'd be amazed how many bags of soil you will go through. Okay, worth spending the little bit of time to dig through there. Maybe 2 or 3 trips, or maybe if you have availability, 2 or 3 different Home Depots, because most people aren't aware of that one. Just a few more things I want to share with you here. Tool rentals. Now, that may not seem like a discount, but you know, there's tools that you rarely need, or maybe you need once, or maybe you need, you know, once every 3 years, and it's really not worth buying them. All right, go rent it from Home Depot. I've rented an insulation blower for blowing in insulation in the attic, and actually, if you buy the insulation, they'll give you that one, the rental, for free. Jackhammers, trenchers, they've even got like a track hoe, all kinds of things like that you can buy. big tools, little tools. Generally not like normal hand tools. It's got to be the bigger stuff, okay? Power tools of all sorts that you can rent there. Power washers, paint sprayers, things like that. And it's a pretty reasonable rental rate. The big advantage here is that you're not dealing with having to lay out all that money, so, a couple $100, a few $100 to buy a tool that's going to spend most of the time just taking up space in your workshop and getting in your way. Go ahead and rent it, use it that one time, take it back to them. And what I usually try and do is I usually try and plan my work so I can get by with a 4-hour rental. Now, when you go in and ask for a 4-hour rental, they're going to set you up for a 24-hour rental. But if you get back in the 4 hours, they drop the rate, so you save money, okay? Speaking of rentals, they have a truck or van, depends on the store, that they have available for you. If you make that big, heavy purchase and you don't have a truck to take it home, $19 for 1 hour to rent their truck or van so you can take it home. Hard to beat a deal like that. You try and do that with, say, U-Haul or something. They'll rent you a truck for $19 plus $1 a mile. Well, they're not going to charge you the $1 a mile over there at Home Depot. They're just going to charge you the $19. And you're already there anyway, so you don't have the extra mileage of trying to get from the rental place to their store, okay? One of my favorites is the military discount. Now, I'm a military veteran, and therefore I get a 10% discount on most purchases there. There is an annual limit on how much I can use that. But if you're active duty in the military or if you're a veteran, you can get 10% on just about everything. There are a few things that are not included in that. You do, however, have to register online to be able to do that. It used to be that you go in with your military ID. Well, I'm not even a reservist. I'm a veteran. I don't have any sort of military ID. I don't have a VA card. I don't have anything like that because I didn't qualify for it. But I have a DD-214. And because I have a DD-214, I could go online, I could register with them, give me a scanned copy of the DD-214 to them. That was enough. I'm signed up. When I go in and I make purchases, automatically I get that 10% discount. So that's really worth having. May not seem like a lot, but it adds up. And finally, the very last thing I want to mention to you is their Pro Xtra discount. Now, this is obviously designed for contractors, people who are going in there as professionals and trying to buy the things they need for, say, remodeling projects, maybe a home extension, things like that they're doing. Okay, they don't check to see if you're a contractor. They don't ask for your contractor's license. If you've got a remodeling project going on in your home, major remodeling project, it's really easy to rack up a $1,500 bill on that. So their limit, or their bottom end, I'd say, their floor for getting the discount on those programs is $1,500. Okay, you're doing a bathroom remodel, you'll easily do $1,500 worth of materials. Put together your list. Go on their website, find the toilet you want, find the sink you want, whatever it is that you need, find the tile, make your list, make it as complete as you can. Go to the customer service desk there. I'm not talking about the one for refunds and stuff. I'm talking about the one over there in the lumber department, the pro counter, actually. It's for professionals. Give me your list and let them give you a quote. And they will discount that anywhere from 10 to 30%. Yeah, 30% is a big deal, okay? So you get 30% off of a $2,000 remodeling project. That's $600 you just saved, okay? Depends, how much of a percentage you get depends on the specific types of materials you need. And I can't tell you what's what because I don't know, but you can get that discount from them, and you can use it multiple times. Once you're in the system, you're in the system. As long as you're making a $1,500 or more purchase, you can get that discount, okay? Now, the bad news I've got for you is you can't buy tools under that discount. Sorry. You can buy hardware, you can buy lumber, you can buy plumbing, electrical, can't buy tools. And I don't know if you can buy garden stuff there, so don't ask me. But nevertheless, this is one of their best deals going for those times when you really have a big project going on. Obviously, it takes that big project, but sometime or other, if you do any work on your home, you're going to have that $1,500 project, and you're going to be able to take advantage of the Pro Xtra discount. So there you are. I think there's about 26 or 28 different things I've presented to you there in this last however much time this has been. These are all things that I've found and many of which I've used myself. I make a regular habit when I go into Home Depot or of checking for their salvage lumber rack and checking for overstock items, checking for discontinued items, keeping my eyes open for those sale tags, looking at the prices, looking for things that are discontinued or discontinuing so I can get whatever discounts I need. So this hobby of ours can get expensive. Well, here's some ways that you can make it a little less expensive and maybe make your tool and woodworking budget go a little bit farther.